Hey everybody, it's Topwater Johnny, and in this video, I'll be doing a lure review of the 13 Fishing Pathfinder 110. Let's check it out. Whoa, there we go. Yeah! Woo, holy cow, folks. Topwater Johnny here, man. This is what we came here for. Look at that. Get back here. Look at that right there. That's the kind of beast that we came here for. Hey everybody, it's Topwater Johnny. Look at that beast right there, baby. I think I won the tournament with that one right there. I am the one with this one. Hey everybody, it's Topwater Johnny here. I want to welcome you to the next video here. In this video, we're going to be reviewing the 13 Fishing's Pathfinder 110 hybrid walking bait. And in this video, that's what we're going to be doing here. So this will be our actual lure that we're going to be doing a review of. And this review, I made some discoveries about it that I definitely want to share with you in this video. And those discoveries definitely will help you make your mind up as to whether or not this kind of lure makes sense to add to your tackle box, or, you know, hey, if it's a lure that you really don't want to mess with right now. But what I want to do first, before I get into all of that, is I want to give a closer look at the lure itself, and then I'll come back and give you all my thoughts and my discoveries. All right. Okay, here it is, 13 Fishing Pathfinder 110 right here. And the overall specs on it, just give you some quick specs on it. It's 4 1/4 in length, so it's 4 inches and a quarter, so it's got some length to it. Its weight is 3/4 ounce. It's got, as you can see right here, it's got frog hooks on it, on the back side of it. And on the front of it, what's interesting is that this lure has a hard body on the front, and then on the back is actually a soft body on the back, so that where it compresses in at right there. Also something to notice, they made an improvement on it. They've got a split ring on the back of it, like a number 3 split ring on the back of it. And so they put a magnet on the back to hold that frog hook in place so that it doesn't slip. In other words, when the fish bites, it actually will release, and that will, nail the fish and lock the fish in. Also, as you can hear, it's got a big rattle in there as well. And the overall design, and this top right here, I thought this was a blowhole, but actually when this thing pulls, it actually can go right or left, and this is how you realign it right here. So you're just twisting it back in alignment right here. So what I wanted to do was give you guys a closer look at this 13 Fishing Pathfinder 110. And in the back of it, there's a little blowhole in the back to blow out the water that might gather on the inside of it as well. So there you go. Just want to give everybody a closer look. Okay, we're back here now. Hope you enjoyed that review of the actual lure itself, a closer look. What I want to do is kind of go into some things here about this lure right here. First of all, as you can hear, it's got like one big rattle in there, probably a couple rattles in there that makes a lot of noise in there. And one of the discoveries that you'll see with this is that because it's got this frog hook in the back, when the fish bites this right here, they're going to bite it. And as they bite this lure, this thing drops down. As you can see right here, it actually drops. And that hook drops down once the fish grabs hold to it. And because it is on one of those frog hooks, it rotates. So in other words, the fish can never get leverage on it once they bite into it. Also, because this is a frog hook, as you can see right here, it's a frog hook here. You can slide that in and out. So that, in other words, you could use a smaller hook if you wanted to, if you had extras laying around here. Another thing here, as you can see, get a little closer there, there's a magnet there. Initially, when I first saw this lure come out early on, there were guys that were testing it, and it had a hook and like a leader right here, and they were having lots of trouble with their hook sets. And so 13 Fishing took the time to understand where the deficiency was and they put a magnet right here. In other words, so that when you are reloading, it easily locks back in. So I did discover that. Now here's the thing about it though. When you're dealing with a magnet has weight on it. And this weight causes this lure to sit in the water column like this. So I can tell that there's a lot of weight in the back here. It's not the hooks that are heavy as much as it's that magnet back there that's causing it to lean up like this. So once you got this in the water, you have to really start to work it right to left, right to left. As before, the lure is soft on the top here, and it's relatively soft here, but soft enough to keep these hooks from being exposed. On the bottom, as you can see right there, it's hard on the bottom. So it's got a hard casing on the bottom right here of it. And also it's got like the typical little spot in the back where let me see if I can get that in close, where the actual water can be blown out at in the back here. Now, one of the things also about this that I discovered is once the fish bites it, it can literally pull this piece right here in my hand, my fingers on, apart. And this piece will actually dislodge and twist to the right or to the left. And that's why this knob right there is there, so that you can push it back down and get it back straight and aligned here. So as far as this lure is concerned, it is a hybrid. It is a stick bait and it is a frog at the same time. Now the question that everyone's asking me about this lure, they will always ask me about it, is does it or can it catch fish? In the right circumstance, yes, I believe this lure can catch fish. I think that, for one, I bought this particular one right here, but what I would do, and this really is kind of like, it's a matter of preference, but it's always about matching the hatch. And I know a lot of guys love white lures, but I like lures that really, really look more like the fish itself. Now, I got this one because on Tackle Warehouse, this is the only one that they had available. All the rest of them were sold out, and I really wanted to get my hands on this one. But I'm probably going to go back and get one that's more in a bluegill pattern or in a shad or silver type fish pattern, because this is supposed to mimic fleeing fish on top, splashing and running. And I'm doing top water, and you've seen fish splash on the top. They're normally bluegill, they're normally shad, they're silver. There could be silver, there could be goldish color. And so I want to make sure I'm always matching the hatch. And I'm not saying this can't work. What I'm saying is that when you're going to fish this on a bluebird day with clear water, it's going to be difficult. But if it was cloudy and the water was a little bit darker, then definitely this could work. When it's bluebird and blue skies and clear water, you really want to match the hatch as much as you can. And so some of the spots that I fish at, I'm really trying to match the hatch, because those fish are really smart and they can tell what's real and what's not. This lure right here, and it's a bigger lure, just so you know, it's 4 inches and a quarter. So it's got some length to it. It's got some, as you can see here, it's got some width to it as well. This one right here is going to require you to really play with it and practice with it and get comfortable with it for certain situations. Like I said, schooling fish and bass are chasing schooling fish, it could work out great. Darker days, cloudier water, and you're throwing it up into cover, it can work, because remember, it's weedless. So those are the things that I've discovered. I don't want to go on and on about it, but I have discovered these things about it. What I want to do now is I'm going to take you out on the water and we're going to do some testing of it, and then I will give you my final thoughts. My question to you before we go out there to the lake is, one, what do you think about this lure right here from what you've seen? Would you fish it? And just your overall thoughts about it. This is one of 13 Fishing's newest lures, not brand new, one of its newest lures. And they really went back to the shop, worked on it, modified it, and brought it back out. So what's your thoughts about it? Please leave those comments below. Please like and subscribe to the channel. And I just want to thank everybody for being a part of this journey with me. So let's go ahead and continue with the video. All right. Hey everybody, it's Topwater Johnny, and we're out at the lake here, and we're going to do some testing on one of my newest lures, the 13 Fishing Pathfinder 110. So we're going to take it out here, do some tests on the lake. The lake seems to be pretty calm this morning. So we're going to do some testing out here and we'll see what happens. All right, let's get started. All right, here's our lure right here. So we're going to go ahead and get this one out in the water, do some testing on it. As you already can see, it's got the frog hooks in the back. Has a little magnet on here that allows it to release, and the top is soft for when it gets compressed down, and it's got a hard bottom on it. So let's go ahead and do our test on it. Now, as a lure, I can already tell you that it's a heavy lure. It's got some weight to it, so there'll be no problem casting this lure out. And the moment that I throw it out there, I can see how it's sitting. So it's sitting nose up in the water. And you can get some walk the dog action out of it. But it's definitely nose up. And you're really going to have to work it, though, to get that walk the dog action out of it. All right. Wanted to make sure that you got a close look at it here. Okay. Want to make sure you got a close look at it here. As you can see how it actually sits in the water here, in the water column. When you jerk it, it's going to go right to left, right to left. But it's definitely a bigger lure, and it's definitely like I said, it just seems a lot heavier, as far as that goes. And as I'm looking at it here, it's almost weird, like a little boat in a way, but it's got a decent look to it here. When you first look at it and think about it, you think about whopper plopper for a second. But it's heavy, so it casts really far. And the goal with this lure, I believe, is to look like a fleeing fish on top. So you really have to pop it hard if you're wanting to get that walk the dog action. You're really going to have to pop it a little bit harder, but it will do walk the dog. As you can see it coming in here now. But it's really designed to look like a fleeing fish. So that's really what I see with this lure right here. As I said before, heavier lure, definitely heavier lure that you're going to be fishing with here. And but the best part about it is that you can throw it in the cover because it's weedless. And that's the part that I like about it. That's the part that drew me toward it. And also, when you do walk the dog with it, it will hold to one spot. So if you pop it and then you stop it, it doesn't drift or anything. It kind of holds to that one spot right there. And that part I do like about it. Definitely walks the dog well. And I reel it out, I hold it, and bring it in again. And as you can see right there in the water column, it'll do it right to left even when I'm doing that a little bit. And like I said before, nose up. So a lot of the weight is in the back of it there because it does have a magnet in the back of it. And so this is what it looks like when it hits the water. It doesn't sink too far down, which is incredible. When it hits the water, it doesn't sink a lot. But it just holds kind of like that and right to left, right to left, right there. So, put that one more time out there. And there it is, right there at 13. That 13 right there, that 13 Pathfinder right there. And I'm showing to you here in clear water. I think that probably if we were in some more darker, murkier water, then this would probably be an effective lure because, you know, the fish wouldn't be able to see it so clearly. So, and that sound and that rattle and that movement, I think there's a lot of possibilities with it. Okay. Hey everybody, it's Topwater Johnny here. Well, I hope you enjoyed that lure review there from the office to out here on the water trying to do some testing on it. The 13 fishing Pathfinder 110. A little bit different for you folks, a little bit different out here. It's a frog, but then it's a stick bait, soft body, releases the hook and everything. This is one of those kind of lures that it's a specialty lure. I would call it that. It's a specialty lure because you got to have the right situation for this to actually work. You can't just go out here with this one and just throw it on Bluebird Day like this right here, clear sky, and think you're going to get hits on it. What you're going to need, and the Bluebird could be there, but what you need is fish breaking on top. In other words, you got to see schooling fish. If you see schooling fish and you throw this in there, then you will definitely get bit. But will this draw up fish on clear water from the bottom to come up? I'm not sure about that. But would it draw fish up in stained, darker water to check it out to see what it is? I do believe that is true. So this is one of those lures that it's a specialty lure. So you would have to definitely decide whether or not to add this to your arsenal based on the type of water and the places that you fish. You know, there's spots where I fish at where fish school a lot. And so I think that I would have an opportunity to catch some fish with this lure there. But if I was fishing in places where there wasn't a lot of topwater action, not a lot of schooling, and I couldn't reach the fish that are schooling, I'd probably be a little bit more reluctant about this particular lure at the moment. So specialty lure, definitely special circumstance and certain situations, this lure could be a really an effective lure. So I'm just going to leave it with you like that. You know, in other words, it's going to be up to you to do your investigation on this lure, check it out, and then definitely experiment with it as well. You know, if you want to get one, try it out, see if you like it or not, and just you have to experiment sometimes. But I just kind of know from all my fishing experience where this lure fits in my tackle box. So for those that are starting out, beginning, this might not be the first lure you grab, but I would say this: get a frog, get used to a frog. Get a stick bait, get used to a stick bait. Then finally, if you want to go to this hybrid, then go to this hybrid. So there you go. There are my thoughts that I want to share with everybody. Please like, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate all you guys' love and support. And I want you to always remember that phrase: keep your line tight, because when they hit those topwater lures, it's going to be a big bite. All right.